Perfect.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Aaron. They're not on yet.
I'm gonna mute mine.
Okay, and then will this turn off when I start? There we go.
And Mark, you are now the host again.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello, Mrs. Schlegel. We'll go ahead and wait for a couple more minutes before we get started on the HyperSlides. And Jill, I have some resources for primary HyperSlides for you also.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
HyperSlides or HyperDocs, or is it hyper anything basically?
It's just hyper. They're just running all around crazy. It's just like your students.
Right. All right.
So what Kristen did was focusing on Google Docs, like the Word, you know, and then today I'm going to focus on like the PowerPoint, the Google Slides.
Okay. So I guess my question is going to be big picture. I mean, I know how to hyperactive all this stuff, but my question is more, once you push it out to the kids, how do they respond to a hyper?
Yeah. So the primary ones are like the click and drag or fill in the blank, fill in the missing letter, that sound, or, you know, if you have pictures, which one, circle the ones that start with the letter B.
All right. That'll be interesting. That'll be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But that'll be towards the end there.
No problem. That sounds great.
All right. I see Jenny's on board to do the, Jenny, you're going to do the chat.
Buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Christine. All right. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started, and then we'll see if anybody drops in as we're going along. So we're going to be focusing on what Kristen did 2 days ago was HyperDocs. That's working with the Word document. So we're going to be doing similar things, but Google Slides is a lot more powerful than Google Docs. You can insert a lot more things. You can have students do a lot more things. What I'm going to be focusing on is showing you kind of template ideas for pushing out lessons for what you want to do. And then if you want more basics of how to create things in slides, you can always email me. I'll help you out with the with the nitty gritty of the Google Slides, of how to insert videos and audios, how to edit them, things like that, I'll be able to help you with. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I do have a Google slide that I'm going to share this with you.
Put the bit.ly in the chat for you, Mark.
Thank you very much. And I'll start up at the beginning here. So for preference, would you prefer, I will be having some things down in the speaker note areas that I'm going to be clicking on. So is it okay if I stay in this way, or would you like me to go in present mode?
We are getting thumbs up. You're good.
I'm good? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to wait for it to load on the present mode. All right, so escape that and go back to the edit area here. So these are, so HyperSlides, what I did here is I inserted a GIF and just got it off of Giphy and inserted it behind the Google Slides emblem. So it is, Jenny did put the bit.ly in there for you, so you can have, write that down real quick. It's EESD HyperSlides, capital H, capital S. And so you can get this resource. If you just write that down, you can look at this resource later on. And with, usually when you're doing you're giving a slide to students and you want them to work on step by step, which is these embedded lessons basically into the Google Slides. You start off with a table of contents, and the cool thing about the table of contents is that when you highlight it and if you press Control K, it'll give you the link to it. And then the nice thing is when you're linking, you can link, it says slides in this presentation. So I can link this to the next slide, or I'm going to go down to slide 3. What are HyperSlides? Okay, so each of these, when I click on them, they'll take me to the exact slide that I want to have it on. Jenny did an amazing job using table of contents when she created the Power School for grading slides that we use so much this year. All right, so that's the way, and also you can insert almost anything. Here I inserted a video, and with this video, you can also crop the videos within Google Slides if you just want a little segment of the audio or the video that you want. Okay, so basically in HyperSlides, you can link a lot of things for students to go to in their research, or if you want them to create something. And then there's also things that you can insert. So for linking, you can link them to another website, another doc or slide that you want them to fill out. You can link them to a Google form if you want to get results. You can link in videos using Screencastify, Play Pause It, Edpuzzle. YouTube works the best with Google Slides, but unfortunately, these kids can't see that. So you can use these items and give them a direct link. Okay, there's also, you can also link a Google Classroom assignment, and there's directions. If you click on this right here, it'll give you directions of how to link. So when they click on the link, it takes them to a very specific, exact assignment within Google Classroom. Things to insert in HyperSlides, you can insert add-ons like Pear Deck. You can insert videos, audios, GIFs, tables, charts, graphs. Master slide is, I'm going to talk about that specifically later on, but basically it's a template in your slide that students can't move around once they get it. It's embedded as a master slide. You can integrate transitions, images, diagrams, word art, and shapes, among other things. So that's why when people do these HyperDoc lessons, they often use Google Slides, just because it has a lot more powerful tools that are integrated into slides. Are there any questions so far?
Not so far, Mark.
Okay, great. So I'm going to start off with the first example. And these are called thin slides. They're called thin slides. They're like those motivational posters that you see in for the calendars. And basically, teachers came up with this to make it quick with vocabulary, to make sure, and this is also great with ELLs because you're creating a picture with it. So you ask the students to use this template to put in their vocabulary word. They can also put in the image, and then they have a sentence about it. Once you get all of them together, you can put them in, since they're in, you can put it in one folder and connect them to make a slideshow that the students can use to review their vocabulary words. So you can assign specific vocabulary words to students if you want it. Okay, and down below here is, this is a link from Control-Alt-Achieve. And this gentleman has a blog on motivational posters that are called thin slides also. And it tells you how to create them and how to make them. Another idea?
Mark, we have a question from Jill.
Okay.
So that is essentially a template. And then when it pushes out to the student, where it says main word, they enter a vocabulary word, your sentence, you could ask definition, whatever you want. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So it's a pre-made template.
It's a pre-made template that you shoot out to the students, and then you can say, hey, use one of your words, your sight words or whatever it is, to insert a picture, have the main word, and write a sentence about it.
And the location is what you have in purple, the link down there, Control-Achieve, or that's just
correct. If you click on that, this is, I'll click on it for you here, and this is going to a website blog.
Okay.
That explains it. And then he has the template right here.
Okay.
And this, just for all of you guys that are here, this Control-Alt-Delete guy, I forget his actual terminology that he uses for his title. He has some really, really good stuff on his blog. I highly recommend, if you have a free moment, to peruse through his blog, because he really does have some solid ideas and activities, and he has tons of templates that you can have for free and adapt in whatever way you want. But this is a solid blog to follow.
Yeah, his name is Eric Kurtz. It's over on the right here. And he is an ed tech guru, and he has he's very clear in the way he explains things. Okay, so the next one, so the next example on his show is called Book Bentos. You know, the bentos are the nice lunch boxes with the sushi in it. They're well organized, very simple. So this is an assignment that you can give students. It doesn't have to be about a book that they read for a book report, but it can be. And what this is, for example, the student read The Outsiders. So they wanted the student to, they have to have, in this case, the book in it, but they also have symbols that represent the book around it. And then within the template, they have the students write about how these symbols related to the book. So it's basically a book report, but you can do this for anything. If you have a science topic on life cycles or whatever vocabulary word you want to do, it's just another way for the students that empowers the students and gets them into the visuals that they're so used to dealing with when they're in social media and so forth. So students are very adept in putting these symbols in, but then they have a written component where they explain these symbols as well. So those are called book bentos, but you can also have history bentos or whatever you like. And this, oops, let me go back there. And this person is source, Amanda Sandoval. I have a link at the end that goes to her website. She's a high school history teacher, but she does an amazing job of giving you very nice examples for these end templates that you can use. So here, let's see if I click on it. I'll show you the, so she gives a template. And not only does she has a template, but she has this very specific directions. And again, it doesn't have to be history or literature. It can be any topic that you like. And then you have the link when you go to this presentation, so you can check that out.
Mark, Jill had a question real quick.
Yes.
Go for it, Jill.
So then I would go to the site. Would I create the slide with using the template, and then I copy it to my slideshow? Is that how it?
Yeah, you go to, you open up the file that she's created, and then you go to File and then make a copy.
Okay.
And then it becomes yours.
And then can I paste? So I mean, my slides can be mixed. I might have a book bento in there. I might have a that motivational, the main word in there. I can have a variety of templates within the same slideshow.
You could, but what I'm showing you is like the thin slide, the main, the first one I showed you would be one assignment for the students.
Okay.
And then the book bentos would be another assignment for the students.
Okay, and then it might just even be a single slide or very few in that genre.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, and Jill, when you go to her website and grab templates from her, like Mark said, she typically has the title slide, and then her second slide is normally very detailed instructions. And then the third or the fourth slide, depending on what the assignment is that she has or template is that she has, those are the actual slides that the students would work on.
Okay.
So you could, you make a copy of her original, you tweak it and have it be specific to what you're wanting the kids to do. And then you would go into Google Classroom and you would make an assignment in Google Classroom. You'd pull this up on the little drive button. And then you would say, make a copy for each student. Then it would push out as if you went to the copy machine and made a copy of the packet and instructions and handed it out to each kid at their desk. It does the same thing, but it's just digital. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, it's really, they're super awesome. There's so many things that you could do with the slides, especially with these cool templates that Mark is showing you.
All right. Thanks, Jill and Jenny. And so I'm going to move on to the next one here. And this is, it's called Iron Chef. And this idea, there's a book, there's actually 2 books out, and they're from, there's 2 authors, and it's called Edu Protocols. That's EDU, and then Protocols, Protocols. And what they are is they're just very quick assignments that you did in class, but they also work amazingly well for remote learning. So the Iron Chef is actually a collaboration of students, and since students can't collaborate in class, they can share a slide with each other still, and they can collaborate on the slide to create something. So you create your teams of students, you assign them, and then you'll have one student in each team be the captain. That student will share a slide out to the other students, and they will give all the students editing rights. So all 4 of those students in a team are editing one document. Okay, and then usually in the classroom, it goes very quickly. The teacher will give them a topic, and they have to list I'm on number 4 right now. They'll list 5 or more facts about the topic or question on their slide. They have to add an image and complete a secret ingredient challenge. For example, if they're doing facts about ancient history like Egypt or Mesopotamia, they'd have to research it, do 4 or 5 facts, and then the secret ingredient might be what's something that would be considered a good meal back in those areas or something like that. And so they have to create those very quickly. All right, so I'm going to give you an example of this. This is by Nate Schenkels. So he did parts of speech. So use a partner or more. So here's parts of speech. Add your name to the box that says buy it. And then for each part of speech, you have to do the following. You have to define it, give 3 examples, insert a superhero picture, and write a formal sentence with high academic language about the superhero picture using that part of speech. So here's his template that you'd use to push out. So you'd make a copy of this and send it out through Google Classroom to your students. And here's an example with an adverb. And you can see that here he bolded it so the students would realize what were the adverbs in it. Okay, so this one, that was one example of the Iron Chef. And the second example is by Amanda Sandoval with labor unions. So this would be for higher history, of course, but just gives you the idea of how they set it up for the students. Here she inserted a video. And then here's what her students had to do. They create a slide presentation. Each student is in charge of one slide, so they don't have to go on top of each other on the slide. And it tells exactly what the students are doing. And then here she inserted Pear Deck. So the students actually had to create their own Pear Deck to make it interactive when they presented to their peers. So here, she has different areas that the students will use. She gives here a link to get them started on their research. And then she gives directions, which each of the slides will be. And again, other than the title slide, each student will create their own slide. So the students will decide which slide they do. All right. So I'm going to move on. Are there any questions for this right now, the Iron Chef? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, all right. So I'll go ahead and move on to the cyber sandwich. And this comes directly out of the Edu Protocols book. And for the cyber sandwich template, I'll show that to you. And this involves two students collaborating. Let me give you a better example. This is not, there we go. So you take an article, you give the students an article or a video or whatever it is that you want them to look at together. Okay, and they give you, and then the first student takes one slide, creates notes on it about the article or the video or whatever it is that they're researching. Student 2 will then take their notes on the same article. And then there's a Venn diagram. I don't know if you can see it in the background, the purple and yellow circles. Then once they create their paragraphs, they'll look at each other's paragraphs, and student 1 will list what they found in the article, what facts they found. Student 2 will note what they found in the article, and then they'll compare and write down what they both found in the article. And then student 1 will write a summary of a comparison of what student 1 and student 2 found, and what they found together, and they'll summarize the article. And student 2 will have to do the same thing. So this is a great way to make it more interactive for students, especially with remote learning, get them connected together. And then they also have the same template here on further slides, except for instead of 2 students, you may have a group of 3. So they have the slides for that as well. Okay, so if you're doing anything from ReadWorks or Smithsonian Teen, or an article out of the social studies curriculum, you can assign it, and this is a good project for them to work on. There's also, I know that Sarah Kane, in her classroom before this all happened, she used Choose Your Own Adventure with students. And the Choose Your Own Adventure books, they say, you know, you're in a forest with alligators, you're in a forest or a jungle and you come upon an alligator. Are you going to fight the alligator or are you going to run away? And then if you fight it, one thing will happen, run away, something else will happen. And so another teacher, DM Bostrom, she has this template. And I copied this directly from her. So it says, please make a copy of this. You go to the file, and then you'll go to make a copy. And then you'll become the owner of this. But here she says, okay, so A, the start of it, you know, you come in a jungle with an alligator, you're going to fight it or run away. If you fight it, it takes you down to a linked slide, just like I did in my table of contents. If you run away, it's going to link you to a different slide and give you a different 2 more options. And so the students really enjoy in creating their Choose Their Own Adventure and sharing it. Because this is more of a process for the students, there's also a video by the Alt-Ed Delete person, Eric Kurtz, on how to build your own Choose Your Own Adventure. So, and again, I've seen this done with 3rd graders who are able to do this. The next one, these are choice boards. And this is great for differentiation. And what they do is you have a board up, and the students can choose which one they'll work on for that week. I'll give you an example. This is Sherry Rogers, who is now at Shasta County Office of Ed. She's created choice boards for TK through 2nd grade, 3rd through 5th grade, middle school, and high school. And this is her slideshow. Again, you have access to this when you get access to my slides. But what she did is she created lots of different activities, and her suggestion was to do 3 activities a week. So let's see if, so this will take, again, these take me to a specific slide down below. Once they choose it, it's linked to a slide down below. And then it has, in this case, the directions to a game. But you can have a link here linking them to iReady or whatever it is you want them to be linked to. So the choice boards are nice because you can get a lot of material up at once. And then you can say, okay, for this week, choose 3 of those. Teachers also do, they have choice boards that are tic-tac-toe. So the students have to do 3 activities that make them 3 in a row for that week. And if you Google HyperDoc choice board, many different templates will come up. And the next one, sorting activities.
Mark, before you go on,
Yep.
Jill had a question real quick.
Go ahead.
So back to those Sherry Rogers, are those all available through SCOE?
Those are all available for SCOE. I know Sherry, and so she posted it on Facebook. And I got them from Facebook, but they should be on SCOE's website.
Okay, because I mean, that's perfect for distant learning for our math piece
Exactly.
right there. I mean, there it is with all the instructions. So, I mean, big picture here, I'm doing a lot of this, but I'm not doing it in a template. And these are really nice templates that make it crystal clear and easy to understand. Is that really what I'm seeing? So you can
feel, I mean, you can take Sherry, what she designed there. She had more than just math on there. She also had language arts and other topics. But you can just take exactly what she has. She wants you to use that. So you can
it's fantastic. It's all there for us for the math.
Yeah, and that's my idea behind this, was giving you those templates so you can either just Google things and find what teachers have already done that you can use, or you can take their template and modify it for what your needs are.
Okay. So basically what she did was she found these activities, she created links, and so on that one master board, they're all nicely organized. You just click what you would like to do. It would take you to a second slide always, or would it take you directly to?
It'll take you to whichever slide that she has. So each of these, I'll go back here.
I mean, in some cases, I imagine it could even take you to a website. Is that right?
Correct. It can
like in that math,
take you
you
to
could
a Google
say
form.
do extra math or something, and it would take you there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you could have like do 10 minutes of extra math or whatever. And so here, each of these, so here's Greg Tang math. So when I click on the board, it'll actually take me linked to slide 5, which is down here, right? It'll link me straight to this slide here. And then if I open that slide, there it is.
Wow.
Okay. And then they can go through and work on that slide. They can
and then we were talking about that. So can the child actually move those numbers, or how does that work, I wonder?
I don't know. I haven't experienced this slide specifically.
But in theory, you could design something that would allow that.
Definitely.
And then the child
Definitely.
would send that slide back to the teacher through Google Classroom, or how would that?
If so, what you can do is have that link to one of your Google Classroom assignments. It'll take the kid to their Google Classroom assignment, click on it, finish it, and turn it in.
Okay.
Does that make, hopefully that makes sense.
Yes.
All right, and so this teacher, Ms. Patel, she was a presenter at the Q conference, Computer User Educators, I think it stands for. And I have the website and under the resources for you. But she has created a sight-word slides template, for example. And this is an example. You can see it says view only. So if I'm going to use this myself, I go under File and make a copy. So here you can type the word up here. So you send this out, each student would get a copy, they would type the word here, and then they click on this, and it'll say the word. And it has all the sight words there.
Oh. Wow, a lot of work has been done for sure.
And that was my point for this presentation, because to create these is it takes a lot of time. It's you know, it's on a curve where it takes a lot of time to learn the Google Slides, the specifics, but once you get it, she just copy and pasted on here, a lot of it. So once she got the first slide done, she just copy and pasted it. So she gives you different templates and gives you specific examples like the chicka chicka boom boom HyperDoc. And again, this is still in view only. So if I want to make it my own and send it out, I go to File and make a copy. But she has the whole video right here. She's probably just embedded this with YouTube. If it is in YouTube, you'd have to change it to play pause it, for example. And then you type your name, and then it does a letter sort. And what she did here is she created this slide as a master slide. So it's kind of like a stamped picture. And then you can move the letters and sort the letters over it. And I can't do that right now because I'm not the owner and I can't edit this. But you can have the students drag and drop the letters.
Very good.
So finally, there's to create a master slide. I didn't want this to become a slides, how to do slides presentation. I want to get those general template ideas out to you today. But if you ask Kristen or ask me, I can create another one next week for just Google Slides of how to do these things. But these are videos on how to create a master slide so that you can create like a stamped picture. Then students can manipulate the letters or numbers or icons for map on there on top of it. You can insert GIFs. So if you have like the guy rolling his eyebrows that I had, or the guy, the master chef there, the Iron Chef guy, you can insert GIFs to make these slides more interesting to the students. And this is how to create that table of contents or the index of slides that Sherry did for her choice board, or I did at the very beginning of this slideshow. And these videos are very good, very clear, easy videos to understand. They do have, it does take a while to get these, to understand them. It takes I always say 3 times to go over something before you get used to it. And then here's some resources. These are my heroes. So Amanda Sandoval, even though she's high school, she has this amazing website for teacher resources. And I'll go to this website. And she does a lot of professional development. The Edu protocols here is like, that's the Iron Chef, the Thin Slide, all those ideas are in here. The distance learning support tutorials are, I'll give you this example that she has. So she has the thin slides. She has examples on there for you. Much better than my presentation. She has a lot more examples and specifics. On the cyber sandwich. So a lot of these ideas, she took them from Edu Protocols book, and I took them from Edu Protocols and her. They also have a Freyer model that you can send out to students for different ideas. So I think you get the idea of it right now. So she has an amazing wealth of resources on her website with lots of examples and lots of templates. I simplified in my presentation because I didn't want you going down that Pinterest rabbit hole. There's other HyperDoc templates. There's a 5E template if you're doing science for Christine. The 5E template is there. You have the 4C collaboration templates, depth of knowledge model templates. So this website takes a while to load up, but it does give you, again, more templates to look at. The head of it, Q.org, is the same person who created that, was one of the authors of Edu Protocols. So Q.org is a huge organization. You can join it and get a lot of resources, or you can just go to the website and see what they do. And then I created a Twitter account for myself for work. There's a big professional learning network of teachers on Twitter who will post what they've created, and then they'll make a link there so you can just take it and copy it. And there's a whole host of information there for you as well. And that is if you go to hashtags on Twitter for HyperSlides, file make a copy, we are Q, or HyperDocs, those are all great resources. Or even if you Google these, it might take you to Twitter, but if you have an account, you'll find these items there. So I hope that helps you give an idea of what you can use these templates for, how you can make collaboration happen even with remote learning. It's not going to be easy the first few times for the students, but I think once you get used to it, it'll work out. And again, if you want specifics on any help once you go through this, I would choose one lesson to start off with, something simple like this thin slide worksheet. Make it simple for yourself, make it simple for your students, see how they do with it, and then you can work up to other more complex templates that we have here. So that's basically what I wanted to show you today. Is there any other questions on it? Oh.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could change the share settings on your slide. I wasn't able to get into it when I tried. Maybe.
I know, right? I don't know where Mark went.
He's gone.
He has
Sorry, Marissa.
his internet is kind of dicey sometimes too. Marissa, I did message him just to have
Oh,
him double
awesome.
check that. So we'll make sure that that bit.ly is up and running. And oh, there he is. And
Oh,
good for you
yay.
guys. You're back, Mark Lewin. Maybe. He's frozen. Yeah, we'll make sure that works for you guys though, so you can have that, because there's loads of cool little templates on there that
Yeah,
you might
I
want.
love it. Thank
Yeah,
you so
it's
much.
good stuff. Did anyone else have any questions? Oh, there's Mark. He's back, but we can't hear you. No, you're good.
It was great. Just more options for us to play around with. I
Right.
appreciate it.
Yeah, use those templates. They're super handy. And then once you get comfortable, the master slide, which is that video that Mark attached, I think it was one of the last slides that he gave you, then you can then go in and create your own templates once you get pretty handy and fast and comfortable with it all. And slides will just become your favorite. You'll do all things in slides. So.
Sounds good.
So
Anyone else? Oh, there you are.
my computer glitched out. I'm on my phone right now. I'm getting back on with my computer so I can share that out with you. Sorry about that.
And thank you. I'm going to say goodbye. It was good.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, well, I'll fix the share settings on it. If you have any questions, feel free to email Jenny or I. I'll be happy to help you out.
Thank you.
Great day, guys.
All right, I'm going to stop recording.